Hi everyone, this is just a short video while I wait for my food to come because I am hungry. I am so hungry. It's not even funny. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Well, apart from some cheese tasters, but that's like 50p cheese tasters was my meal yesterday, and I am ready to just cut loose and eat some food. So I'm going to keep this short. This is potentially a part 1 video. I don't want to make any promises that I'm going to make another live tonight. I may or may not. So the outcome of the meeting was this, in summary. The outcome of the meeting was basically it came back round to the same thing. We can move you to another place if you want. It always comes back to that. Now, what ended up happening is that nothing was resolved about, basically they said there was a communication problem, but those are blatant lies. I sat there. I was calm. I said I was going to drag them, and I did, but I did it calmly because I sat there and told the truth. I said, look, first of all, you told me 3 different versions of the same story when it came to the CCTV cameras, okay? Second of all, you were telling me that I refused housing and stuff like that. No, that's not what happened. What I said to you was come back to me with a clear date, a clear time as to when I'm going to be moving out and when somebody else is going to be moving in, or when you have an idea of when someone's going to offer up their training flat to me. I said to management, give me a proper date, a proper time as to when it's going to happen, right? So the fact of the matter is that, nothing was really resolved. It was basically like, oh, it's just a communication problem. And they did finally get around to telling me who busted down the door. Now, to my mind, it's either Amoral's brother or Amoral's cousin. It's one of her friends or, one of her family, which is why Mind haven't said anything. Because the thing is, them not letting me know that there was a visitor ban has resulted in a direct security breach to the house. And now that, their mistake has resulted in a direct security breach to the house, now they want to talk about me moving out, because they know as long as I'm here, I'm going to hold them accountable for everything that happens, because they're in charge of the house. If I have like my training flat, then there's no cameras, there's no nothing. So I'm responsible for everything. So if anything goes wrong, they have minimal accountability. That's why they want me moved out of here. It's not for my own welfare. It's to cover their own arse. Because they know if I move into a training flat, they're going to have minimal involvement. There's not going to be any CCTV cameras catching anybody coming in and out of the house. The only cameras that are going to catch anything are the ones they install into my flat without my knowledge. And they know that. So that's why they're emphasizing on me moving into somewhere, preferably somewhere shitty, because, that's how vindictive the Freemasons are. It's not Brent Mind, admittedly. This is where I have to admit there are certain limits that Brent Mind have on what they're allowed to do. Okay? There are certain limits on what Brent Mind staff are allowed to do. Brent Mind are still entirely culpable because they tried to cover up their mistake by trying to make out like I'm mentally ill and trying to drag mental health into it. So they are entirely culpable for that. That's a corrupt, that's corrupt, corrupt behavior. But there's only a certain amount of control that they have over the situation. Because remember, this is still Freemasonry. This is still civil service. They are answerable to Genesis Social Housing. So there's only a certain amount that they can do in this situation. But where they will take the opportunity to cover their own arse, they will do it. And I have to give props, I don't want to give props to management, but I have to give props to management. The way she kind of explained everything, if you were to explain it to another person, everything that she says and everything that she, the excuses that she had with regards to why the support worker was lying, why management was lying to me, the reasons that they came up with were entirely practical. First of all, Fabian, you talked about a shampoo bottle in the bar. We are worried because, you seem to be conflating general mess, with something else, and it makes us worry for your mental health. And then, and then I was like, it's not just that, it's like a multitude of different things. And then when, with regards to the CCTV stuff, they said it was a mistake because they got the wrong dates or times or something like that. It's the way they explained it. It was very, very rational and reasonable. And if you were to listen to what they were saying, it sounds incredibly reasonable, but it's not what they explain in the moment that matters. It's how they handled the situation all the way up until now. If it was really as simple as, you know, it's confidential and shit like that, and, you know, and we don't have any responsibility, then why are you trying to conceal the person who actually broke into the house? You're saying you don't recognize him. You know who it is. If I was to see him, I'd know who it is. In fact, I offered mine. I said, look, let me look at the footage. I can tell you who it is. Straight right off the bat. Because Amoral introduced me to everybody that was important to her. She introduced me to her cousin, her brother, her friends. So if I see that camera, if I see that footage, I'm going to know who it is. But they refused to show it to me for a reason. And they said they were going to show the police the footage and stuff like that. And the police are not going to do anything. I think what that was subliminals to me, because I'd actually reported management and to the police, as you saw on the footage. So I think that was shots at me. I think what they were saying is that the police are not going to investigate anything. And they want to make out like, you know, the police are, you know, just doing their normal jobs. Like, they're not just doing their normal jobs. They know exactly what they're doing. It's one thing to not investigate, but it's another thing to treat me like I don't know what I'm talking about and present yourself as if you don't know what you're talking about when you're taking my phone call and when you're taking my complaints. Once again, you can have rational and reasonable explanations as to why you're doing what you do, but it's the way that you do it that gives you away. Now, I'm gonna get into this later because my food is almost here. So, thank you for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.